If you're excited for Diablo 4 but want to get caught up to speed on what the game's about, then you're in the right place. Today we'll be discussing everything you need to know about Diablo 4, with it being the latest entry in the Diablo franchise, which is one of the most iconic and beloved dungeon crawling RPG series of all time. You'll benefit from knowing the classes, the different systems of the game, and how it differs from previous titles. But have you played a dungeon crawler RPG before? Which one was your favourite and why? I know for many people it will be Diablo 2 that comes to mind, and if that's the case for you, then Diablo 4 is set to be something that you might really enjoy. This is because Diablo 4 incorporates several features and mechanics that fans of the series have come to love. For example, the game features a darker tone and more mature storyline similar to Diablo 2's focus on corruption and betrayal, with an emphasis on visceral combat, loot-driven gameplay, and character customization. The game also brings revamped versions of classic character classes such as the Druid and Necromancer from Diablo 2, and more which we'll expand on later. The game's campaign length has been spoken about in the past in interviews, so we can expect around 35 hours to complete the story alone, and players will have reached about level 45 by this point. Beyond that, you can actually level your character all the way up to 100. This would unlock multiple endgame activities, like nightmare dungeons to fight elite monsters for great loot, the new bounty system called the Tree of Whisperers, which offers routine endgame activities and objectives, the Hell Tide, which is a nightmare difficulty region of powerful enemies, and the new Paragon board system, so you always have something to progress even after maximum level. However, this time the game will have a shared world system, which will allow players to encounter other players while exploring the world, as well as a camp system allowing players to form parties and explore the world together. There will be some multiplayer modes with different options, including PvP and PvE modes. Occasionally, you will actually come across world bosses on your travels as well, and these are very powerful and difficult bosses to take down in the overworld that will require a large number of players to complete. We also know for the future of Diablo 4's endgame cycle that seasons will be making a return, which proved very popular in Diablo 3 and adds lots of replayability. So if you're looking for something to really sink your teeth into for a long time, Diablo 4 is looking to scratch that itch. When it comes to the playable classes in Diablo 4, there's actually going to be 5 to pick from at launch, and picking the wrong class is always a fear. Tell me in the comments if you've ever had to start an RPG or MMO from the beginning after realizing hours in that the character you picked just wasn't for you, because I know I have. Furthermore, each of the classes within Diablo 4 has its own class mechanic, which affects their playstyle and abilities, and allows you to further customize your class uniquely with a distinctive and unique system. But this is more so of a thing to figure out as you play and progress through the game. So here we're going to give you an overview of each character so you know what's up and hopefully pick the right choice for you. The Druid is a master of shapeshifting with various forms including werewolves and bears. However, it's also a melee, caster, summoner hybrid class that can command storm and earth magic to disable enemies while slaying the forces of evil in style. Interestingly, when changing physical form, the Druid can now do this instantly, but the forms only last a short duration. It is speculated at higher levels that this will last longer or permanently, but we'll have to wait and see. Many of your Druid skills and abilities will leave your enemies vulnerable, making succeeding hits even stronger and hit harder. You can also command creature companions to attack on your behalf. So if using the magical powers of nature, shapeshifting, and companions sounds like your thing, then the Druid is probably the one for you. You also have the Barbarian, and this is one to pick if you want to deal massive damage and destruction with both two-handed and one-handed melee weapons. With impressive physical offense as well as defensive moves and self buffs, the Barbarian is a well-rounded fighter for all types of players, especially those who love melee combat, and you'll have access to bludgeoning and slashing weapons. The Barbarian can easily annihilate and hold their own against troops of enemies, but they also are good at consistently focusing high damage on single targets such as bosses by dealing bleed damage. But be wary, some of their skills can have longer cooldowns, so time your bursts of damage wisely. The Rogue is your go-to if you like stealthy assassin playstyles. Being adept at swift movement and the ability to switch between melee and ranged weapons, the Rogue can deal with most situations if controlled by the right player. You'll focus on dexterity, and the Rogue gains power to its damage but also its dodging ability. You'll need to build up combo points by using basic skills and attacking marked enemies. Then you can follow up to unleash powerful core skills that consume these points. So if poisoning your enemies, using shadow and cold damage, and rapid attacks sounds like your thing, then the Rogue is your pick. The Sorceress, however, is a master of elemental magic spell casting, specializing in fire, cold, and lightning spells. However, it's more of a high risk reward class because the casters are very fragile and susceptible to damage. You'll be favouring intelligence to enhance your spellcasting damage, but also dexterity to increase your spellcasting mana reserves. If casting extremely powerful elemental magic from a distance that not only deals high damage but also leaves your enemies impaired sounds like your thing, then the Sorceress is your go-to choice. The Necromancer, though, is a master of the undead, capable of summoning and controlling skeleton warriors, mages, golems, and other undead creatures. They have access to a variety of dark magic spells, including curses and life-draining abilities. The Necromancer can even raise corpses to fight alongside them, or to fuel their spells. They have a versatile playstyle that allows them to specialize in summoning, cursing, or spellcasting, making them pretty flexible and formidable. So if summoning armies of undead corpses to fight and destroy your foes sounds like fun, then this class is perfect for you. One thing to know is that Blizzard have confirmed that Diablo IV is going to be cross-play and have cross-platform progression. So wherever you play, it means you can link up your Battle.net account and switch between platforms or play with friends on different consoles very easily. As mentioned previously, the Paragon board will be returning from Diablo 3, but this time it's a little different. You're going to gain access to this at level 50, and while the exact progression speed isn't known for sure, it's expected that you will get 4 Paragon points per level. So once you unlock this at level 50, the remaining 50 levels to the 100 level cap will give you around 200 Paragon points, which you can use to enhance your character's stats, buffs, and other abilities through this Final Fantasy X style sphere grid board. It looks a little intimidating at first, but as you play and progress through the levels and start to fill it out, it won't look so bad. The game is available on PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC. And there's actually going to be a public open beta and early access beta weekend available on these platforms. If you would like to learn more about these betas, we have another video on the channel going over them in detail, which you can find linked in the description down below. So which class are you going to try first? For me, it's definitely going to be the Druid, but I'd love to hear what you're going for in the comments down below. And the 2 videos on screen now we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you did find this video interesting or helpful, you're probably going to like these ones too. And then tell us what you think after watching in the comments down below.